all flights delayed. I'm going to be talking about that in a few minutes. If you like talking about the rapture, end times, all this kind of good stuff, Black Swan events, then you've come to the right channel. We're going to be talking about flights being delayed or canceled. So stick around. Feel free to subscribe to this channel. Feel free to leave a comment, and then let me know where you're watching these videos from. I really appreciate it. So I watched, I'll call him a colleague because we think a lot alike, and I watched his channel this morning. His channel is called the Watchmen River, Tom Coate. Now, there are some people that say that I'm coming against Tom or I'm with Tom, whatever it is, and it's kind of weird. People are weird. Like, people are saying that my channel is like his, my content's like his, some days it's not like his, all this kind of stuff. And you have to realize that our channels are similar in nature only because we are both Christians and we talk about similar topics. But Tom is like a machine. He is like clockwork. Every day at 10 o'clock my time, Mountain Standard Time, he is on his YouTube channel by the river, and he never misses a beat. He is more consistent than I am. I'll do a video maybe in the morning, maybe in the afternoon, or in the evening, just depending how I feel. I try to do a video pretty much every single day. But this morning I noticed something different about Tom. Something different. And if you don't know who the Watchman River is, Tom Coate, go check out his channel. Go watch his stuff. He's got some cool things to say. I may not always agree with everything that he says. Come on, like, look, my channel is called Black Swan Revelations. So there's a lot of people that don't agree with what I have to say as well. Welcome to YouTube. Well, I get people complain that they're trying to watch my videos and there's ads coming up and stuff. And they're like, what's going on? There's like a 15-second ad that I have to skip through, and they get angry or whatever it is. It's like, grow up a little bit. So anyways, something has changed in Tom, and I'm not sure what it is. Something's changed a little bit. He seemed a little bit down this morning, a little bit down. So this video is more of an encouragement for Tom to keep up the spirit, keep up that fight when we're talking about the rapture. Keep doing what you're doing. You're watching, you're warning us, all this kind of stuff. Don't stop doing that. That's what makes your channel cool, okay? It's very cool. And I remember coming across your channel a few months ago because somebody said, hey, your channel reminds me of Tom, the Watchman River guy. You should check him out. And then I looked at your channel. I'm like, yeah, we're kind of similar. I talk a lot about the Bible. I talk a lot about Revelation. But what I do is I go through the whole Bible. Like, I have over 600 videos that go through verse by verse, all this kind of stuff. Some of my videos are like 2 hours long. You know, like, if you've subscribed to this channel, you know what I like to talk about. And I love to talk about the Bible. And I actually just finished the New Testament. So we are, what are we here? Almost halfway through November. So I finished the New Testament. And now I just have to focus on the Old Testament. And there's a very good chance that I'll be done the Old Testament by the new year, which means I will have read the entire Bible 6 times this year, which would be a new world record for me personally. And I'm not really trying hard because I'm diving into the book of Ezekiel right now. I'm reading it every day and just studying. I'm about a quarter of the way through, and then sometimes I'll go back to the beginning and I'll jump into the book of Jeremiah, and I'm focusing for the next couple of months on the major and minor prophets. That's what I'm really diving deep into. And I'm getting some great revelations, some great insights from that. But I just happen to be reading the Bible as well. And it doesn't take you very long to get through the New Testament. You can do it inside a week. I took my time and I'm done it. So always learning something new, always learning something new. I just love the New Testament. But that's kind of my channel. That's what I like to do. I like talking about Black Swan events, end times, all this stuff. And then when I watched Tom this morning, I'm like, Tommy, you're a little bit down this morning. So I want to encourage you, because there was, I think it was probably, I would say, perhaps maybe a month, maybe 2 weeks before October 7th, Tom was one of the only channels that was saying rockets were pointed at Israel. And he was going on and on about it. And I'm like, where is he getting this information from? And he was reading the news, the Israeli news, Hebrew news, all these various outlets. And every day he was saying that there are hundreds of thousands of rockets pouring or pointing to Israel, and it's imminent that they're going to be struck. And he says, this is why we believe that the rapture is imminent, that because what's going on here could lead to the rapture and all this kind of stuff. And he, except for the rapture, he was pretty bang on. I don't think he realizes how bang on he was, because really leading up to it, like within the last week or so, you just go back and timestamp, look at his episodes, and he's talking about all the countries pointing their rockets at Israel, and they are on high alert and all this kind of stuff. Then October 7th happened and Israel's at war. So I give Tom props for that, because he was all over it. And then, I don't know, something changed a little bit. Like if you watch his channel, he said that he's apologizing for making a mistake, that we may not be raptured in 2023. And I'm like, Tom, you don't have to apologize for nothing. You never made a mistake. 2023 is not over yet. I think what we're focusing on is the wrong thing, though. As people that are waiting for the rapture, like I have a full-time job. I work for a living. I think Tom is retired. I don't think he works. So I have things to do. I'm also in charge of the men's ministry. I'm also in the process of developing a sobriety group as well for some of the men. I just want to get that kind of thing going in the new year, and partner with some other organizations and stuff, because I feel like that is a definite need in the church. Whether that's alcohol, whether that's dealing with pornography, whatever, sexual addictions, whatever it is, I feel like that there's a need for that. And then I'm also planning a men's retreat for next May. So I got lots of things going on last night, and I went with a buddy to a hockey game last night. I have a grandchild, so my life is busy with my job and all this kind of stuff. I can't always just sit by a river and watch the rapture happen. I can't do that all the time. So Tom was a little bit down this morning, saying this isn't for everybody. Not everybody can do what I'm doing, where I'm basically sitting by the river and just looking up all day. And I get it. Not everybody can do that. But Tom, don't count yourself short. You got to give yourself a pat on the back. We're just looking at the wrong thing. And what is that wrong thing? I think if you're looking at Israel being attacked, and you're looking at all these other nations surrounding Israel and all this kind of stuff, and you're thinking that that's going to cause the rapture, I'm going to pose another argument for you, that this is perhaps the triggering mechanism that launches us. Because right now, how I look at it is, we are in, all flights have been delayed. You can say to bad weather or whatever it is, but just treat our rapture like an airport. When you go to the airport and you know your flight is at 10:30 at night, and then all of a sudden you see all those tiles flip over, delayed. Well, you don't necessarily want to jump on that plane because you have somewhere to go right away, because you don't know why they're delayed. You want them to sort out that problem first. So if there's ice on the wings, you want them to thaw that ice. You don't want to jump on the plane right away. So there's a reason. So right now, I look at all our flights are delayed for the rapture for one reason. And that is the Antichrist has to show up on the earth. And what are the mechanisms to spearhead that? I believe it is the construction of the Jewish temple, the third temple. I believe if we see the temple being built, we are on the cusp of being raptured, because that is the unveiling of the Antichrist. Now, we don't know if the temple gets built and then there's sacrifices and all kinds of stuff for a year, 5 years, 10 years, 100 years. We do not know. But what we do know is when the abomination of desecration occurs, that's when the Antichrist actually sits down in the temple and declares himself to be God. We know that we are at the halfway point of the tribulation. So if the Antichrist is revealed upon the world, you can start a clock. You can say, you know what, because he's here and we know he's the Antichrist, the rapture is imminent. And we may not even know that the Antichrist has showed up, because my belief is that we're either going to get raptured the day before the Antichrist is revealed, or the day of, or somewhere in that, maybe a couple of hours later, a couple of days later, don't know. But you could start the clock when the Antichrist shows up, and 7 years is when the day of the Lord is coming, the day of Christ, when he touches down on the Mount of Olives. That's what I believe. Now, you can argue against me on the chat channel and all this kind of stuff, but my encouragement to Tom is, if we're looking at earthquakes and all this kind of stuff and saying that's the rapture, that signals the rapture, I think we're in error there. Just my humble opinion, because Jesus said you're going to have wars and rumors of wars. Fake wars, real wars, pretend wars, wars that are happening. You're always going to have that. When you see all these signs begin to unfold, now you can begin looking up, because when the abomination of desolation happens, then be ready. Be ready to escape. So that's my interpretation. This is, hopefully this is encouraging to you, Tom, that don't back down. Don't back down. Like if you go at, I think it's about the 13-minute mark on his video, he says, I made a mistake. I shouldn't have said 2023, even though there's still 6 weeks left in 2023. I'm saying, Tom, you don't have to say that stuff. You don't have to say you made a mistake. You don't. There are people predicting dates. They're thinking, you know what? I think maybe he could come next week. I think he can come in December, or whatever it is. I think he can come tonight. Don't worry about that stuff. Don't let that get you down. Whatever it is, just keep doing what you're doing, because your channel's growing and people are paying attention. Even if they don't necessarily agree with you on every single topic, they're having the conversation now over the dinner table that they wouldn't have had if they hadn't seen your channel. So that's my encouragement to you, is keep talking about the rapture. Keep going. Keep doing what you do, because that's your channel. And people know your channel when you talk about, hey, why don't you make yourself a grilled cheese sandwich with some tomato soup? And I gotta tell you, that is the best combination on the planet, period. I love tomato soup with grilled cheese, 100%. So I encourage anyone, if you don't know who Tom Coate is, if you've never seen his channel, go check, just type in Watchmen River, you'll see it. And this guy's a great guy. He never misses a beat, 365 days a year. And I wanted to make a video like this to encourage him, because it's not about the date. It's about the idea of what we're actually seeing going on is eerily different than what we were told or what we saw when we were a kid. There are so many things right now that's going on that makes us go, what is going on right now? People are just going crazy. But we still have to function. We still have to work. We still have to live our lives, but we just pay a little bit more attention, with our heart. We make sure our heart is right. How do we do that? We dive into His Word. We read the Bible every single day and build ourselves up during the week so that when we come on a YouTube channel like this, or we show up in church or a men's fellowship, we can start edifying each other. Why? Because we filled ourselves up all week long, every single day, all day. And this is what I do. I read the Bible. I'll listen to the Bible app during the day as well. I make myself so my tanks are full, so that when I'm talking to you, I don't necessarily have to have notes or anything. I could just, from my heart, I can just share with you guys. So there you go. Take it for what it is. I hope you got something out of this. Feel free to subscribe to my channel. Feel free to check out Tom's channel and other Watchmen. There's tons of Watchmen out there that are kind of all saying the same thing. This feels like a little bit of a lull in the storm. And again, the way I look at it is our flights are just being canceled. That's all it is. And part of those flights being canceled is, like I mentioned in another video, when you're talking about the resurrection and all that kind of good stuff, is when someone passes away, their flight is booked. All of us, we actually have a flight that is booked. We just don't know when that flight is. Meaning, when we die, we are resurrected right away and we go straight to heaven. So if I were to pass away tomorrow at 3:50 p.m., then my flight time would be 3:50 p.m. And then you could see it posted on the board, and boom, up you go with your new heavenly body, and you're in heaven with the Lord forever. And those that are left behind until the Lord's appearing will be caught up in the air as well, and their flights will take place as well. So that's kind of how I look at it. I just look at it as a bit of a flight delay, whether it's bad weather or perhaps there's not enough Gentiles coming in, because we still got to give time for not only the Gentiles, but for the Jews also to come in to know the salvation of the Lord as well. And who knows, maybe there's a delay for tomorrow. Maybe there's people that need to be saved still, and the Holy Spirit is working on them. And really, at the end of the day, who are we to argue against God, like saying, oh, come here, because some of our loved ones may not be saved. So I say, take your time, so that we can all board on that plane. There's time. There's time right now. We have time. Time to share the gospel with others. Let's fill up that plane. I'm telling you, we need a full plane when we go to heaven. So, hopefully that's encouraging. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a fantastic day. Again, feel free to subscribe, leave a comment, and let me know where you're watching this video from. See ya.